Hi, I'm Dr. Jeniece Lusk, and I'm a sociologist here at AUS, and I'd like to welcome you to American Society, or SOC 220. So here I'm going to provide an overview of some introductory information, including my own self-introduction, an introduction to the course and its learning outcomes, its materials, assessments, expectations, and accessibility, along with some tips. So again, hi, I'm Dr. Jeniece. I'm a sociologist here at AUS in the International Studies Department. And I have been here since 2016. Before coming to AUS, I actually lived in Japan and taught there. And before that, I lived in the United States for all of my life, traveled a few times, but I was really grateful that I was able to leave and go abroad. While living in the US, I was born in Virginia, but then moved because I was in a military family. So we moved to Honolulu, and then to Kentucky, and then back to Virginia. And I stayed there until I was an adult. And then I went to grad school in Texas at Baylor University. So I have on a t-shirt actually right now, Sick'em Bears. And after that, I went to Pennsylvania, then New York, then Atlanta, and then back to Texas before leaving to move to Japan. I'm an applied sociologist, and so that means I do a lot of survey research, public opinion polls, and things like that. I do a lot of quantitative analysis and some qualitative. My research ranges from intersex variation to Black expat experiences to environmental sustainability. I advocate for an inclusive classroom. I encourage diversity, openness, and wanting my students to feel heard and respected. And so my teaching philosophy really centers around that. So in this course, you'll see it very clearly that I'm very much interested in you all being able to speak your mind and being able to be critical of the US and just global interactions altogether. And last but not least, as you can see, I have a pretty large family, at least by Western standards. My husband is here, and he's a stay-at-home dad. And then I have 4 amazing little people as well. My oldest is 9. I have the twins who are both 4, and then the baby who is about 15 months now. And so, yeah, we all live here and play and, have a good time. My office is located in HSB 2047. HSB is the old engineering building 1 that was renovated and now houses INS and psychology on 2 of the floors. You can come find me for my office hours, meaning you can just drop in on Tuesdays from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. Other times are by appointment. So you just need to send me an email at jlusk@aus.edu, and I will make myself available. We'll come up with a time to meet and talk. All right, so I'm not going to go into the entire exciting course description and all of the learning outcomes and everything. But I did want to point out that this course is split into 3 units. There's capitalism, inequality, and democracy. And you'll see from your text, and if you look at the syllabus, that's how the readings are split as well. And that underlying all of the units is an attempt to increase your understanding of American values and motives, understanding of social institutions in the state, stratification systems, dominant ideology, all of that stuff. And then you can see here my outcomes that, I focus on the most intently in the course, awareness and understanding of U.S. society, so that when you are critiquing, when you are arguing and analyzing, you can come from a very informed position. So for this course, you have 2 books, and yes, they are both required, but don't freak out, because one is more of the informational, almost kind of a textbook type book, not very big, not a whole lot of reading in it, and it's not dense. It's very accessible. and that's the American Society, How It Really Works text. And then the other is actually a graphic novel, and we're going to be splitting that in half and dissecting it. And this is actually called Welcome to the New World. It's won a Pulitzer Prize, and it's a book or a graphic novel about a Syrian family immigrating to the United States. And so, there's a comparison of values there, and just like understanding how systems work and things like that. So again, both of these are required. We'll be using Perusal to access both texts. So prepare yourself for that, and know that that means that you actually must read the content for the course. Okay? So as I said before, we're going to be using Perusal. And I'm going to give you some information about that on iLearn, make another video to kind of talk about my expectations of your Perusal assignments and things like that in detail later. But for now, I just want to introduce you to the concept. So Perusal in some ways is just like a regular ebook platform where you could go in. For our class, at least for your text, I believe you can sample the text before buying. And you will have the full text for both the full version of both texts available in the library in Perusal. What's different is that it's a social reading platform. And so as you can see in the image depicted in front of you, you're going to be able to communicate and add notes and annotations to your reading. And so part of the assessment for my course is looking at these Perusal assignments that I have given you in the soft copy of the syllabus and adding annotations for each of those assignments. So if it doesn't make sense right now, don't worry. I'll go into detail about it later. So here's the part that you're probably really interested in, the assessments. And what do you need to do in this course? You're going to have 2 exams. The first one is worth just a quarter of the class grade. And the second one has a little more weight to it. That's because I want to give you some time to develop your confidence in the format and the abilities. And so your first exam is a little lighter to give you that space. Your second exam, which is your final exam, is not cumulative. It is only covering the material from where the first exam stops going forward. Another part of this course is that it is a transformative sustainability project course, which means that we are participating in a virtual exchange. And forget what you've heard about the previous virtual exchanges or anything like that. This one's really kind of just meant to be fun and interactive and not so much, not so much a huge project here. For the TSP project, you're going to just be doing very short blog posts. You're going to be given prompts. You'll have 5 of them. The due dates are scattered across the semester. And those will be posted. And the students from our partner university, Dickinson College, will be responding to your blog posts. In return, they'll be posting as well in their own blogs, and then you'll be responding to each of theirs. So for each of their blogs, you're going to give about 2 responses, which in the end of the semester is going to add up to 10. So it's not 10 all at once, it's 10 scattered across the semester. And we'll talk more about the TSP project soon. I've created a WordPress blog site where you'll all have your own like authorship, and you'll all be able to post your blog submissions there. For the Perusal assignments, you're going to have 8 Perusal assignments that are on schedule. You can just follow the schedule. And again, I'll give you the details about that in a separate recording. So these are all the requirements for the course. Not too intensive. Usually for a 200 level course, I have 3 exams, and I'll give you like 11 in-class assignments and 10 Perusal assignments. Because you all are participating in the TSP project, I cut your exams down to 2, and you only have 8 Perusal assignments and no in-class activities, right? Your blog posts are now going to be that in-class part. Another thing I should mention is that for the TSP project, we will have 2 synchronous sessions with Dickinson College, which means that they will be held in the evening. They for at least one of them will have to be physically located here for the meeting, for the media, and everyone to come and take photos and, evaluations and everything. For the other, we'll probably just be online. So yes, you'll be expected to attend those synchronous sessions. When we have the synchronous session for that class period, that day or the day before, we won't be having class. So the two synchronous sessions will actually replace a regular session. So another thing I want to mention here is accessibility. If you're a student who has a disability or thinks that they have a disability, please make sure that you initiate conversation or contact with the Academic Support Center ASAP. They will send me a letter if you are approved for accommodations, allowing me to kind of see what's needed, and I'll be able to adjust things reasonably based on that letter. If you already have that letter, send it to me ASAP, and that way I can start figuring out times and things like that. Another thing I want to mention is diversity and inclusivity in my class. I do have a commitment to inclusivity and ask that everyone tolerates everyone in the class and their ideas, but also that everyone is respectful and doesn't attempt to be like provocative for the sake of being provocative, provocative just to annoy people, basically, or to be obnoxious, but be really thoughtful and considerate. Challenge others, but respectfully. And then class attendance. Okay, you got to come to class, right? For my class, I do take attendance. You need to be there for 85% of class sessions. So that means you need to be there for the majority of the class sessions. You have 5 absences and then dropped in my course. And you need to also attend 85% of each individual class session. If you come in very late, then it's not counted as you being there. You should probably stay so you can get the content, but it's an absence. If you leave very early, it's an absence as well. And there's no real differentiation here between excuse or not excuse, because regardless, over an entire semester, you shouldn't be missing 5 days of class, right? Or more than that. It doesn't matter whether it's for illness or not for illness. Anything over that is excessive, and I can't guarantee that you have absorbed the content that you've needed to, right? Accumulated tardies become absences in my course as well. So 3 tardies, meaning that you came to class late 3 times, equals 1 absence. And it's a tardy, basically, if you come in after I call the roll. I usually call the roll within like the first 3 minutes of class. Okay, so come to class, be on time, be prepared. All right, so finally, for my tips for success, my number 1 tip for succeeding in the course is that you take it as seriously as you do the rest of your classes. Your GPA, your transcript doesn't differentiate between whether you cared about the class or not, or whether it was a part of your major or not. I don't really think things like GPA matter eventually anyway. Like once you graduate, it's not such a big deal. But if that's something you're concerned about, then you should probably keep that in mind. Next, come to class and come prepared. When you come to class, follow the reading schedule. You should have already read for that day's content in advance, right? So if we're covering consumption on Monday, then that means that before you come to class on Monday, you should have already read. All right. So come to class prepared. You should have already taken some notes. You should just be adding to your notes and building on them while you're in class. Class time is for us to have discussion, to have clarification, and to engage. Bring paper, bring pens, take notes. I prefer that you take notes by hand, even if that means that you have a tablet and you're using an Apple Pencil or whatever, do it by hand. I don't like laptops because you get so easily distracted. And you guys are often trying to finish like assignments and things like that. And it's really disrespectful. So none of that. Don't bring a laptop. If you must use a laptop, then you need to make sure that you're actually, taking notes and things like that. Because I think about that when people come back and say, I didn't understand. And I saw, somebody in class told me you were watching a movie the whole time or something like that. Then no wonder you didn't understand. All right. So you guys become a nerd for this course. Like geek out, pay attention, engaged. When you come into the classroom, think, like this is going to be my focus for this next hour and 15 minutes or however long class is. Another thing I like to point out is that you should focus on the future, not the past, right? Focus on, yes, like learning from mistakes, seeing where you went wrong on things, but not about trying to recapture credit that has already been lost. It won't happen, right? I only change a grade if it's a calculation error. And like, I want you guys to focus on future opportunities, on how can I improve for the future, because that's what a course is about. It's about improvement, right? And that's what you should be aiming for. And focus on actually enjoying and absorbing the course, the readings, the information. And then plan ahead, right? Note all of your classes ASAP, right? Like all of the assignments, all of the classes, all of the things that are going to be, required for you to like submit for your time and things like that. You need to like get on your Google Calendar, use a planner. I'm going to add these free planner sheets on Blackboard for everyone. And at the very beginning of the semester, lay it all out for my class, for all of your classes, every single one. Note the amount of time between your course due dates and exams and prepare for this, right? With the exception of final exams, having an exam during the semester on the same day as another is not a reason to request an extension or, a makeup or anything like that, right? You need to have thought through this through and planned for it in advance. So get your life together, right? Get everything together, get it all organized, lay it out. And if not, if things don't lay out in a way that will work for you and what you know about yourself and how you work as a student and as a learner, then consider maybe switching some of your courses around for a better fit, right? Because you have the ability to, at least to some extent, to organize this in a way that works out best for you. And so, yeah, that's what you do, because there's no way I can tailor this course to every single student in the class and their individual schedule. As much as it would be wonderful, I can't. And then the last thing I want to reiterate is read. If you're not planning to read, this is not the course for you, okay? You are responsible for the readings, and you are responsible for coming to class and asking questions based on the readings, right? Getting to an exam time and saying, I didn't really understand that, that's too late, right? And so you need to read in advance and be on schedule, keeping up, so that we can deal with these things in a timely fashion, right? So you need to read, you need to immerse yourself in the reading, and you need to, during class time, during discussion, show evidence that you've been reading and keeping up with the reading. All right, so yeah, these are my tips. Yeah. So finally, thank you and welcome to Soch 220, and I'll see you soon. Bye.